I don't know if that wasn't finished. It just says be of good character. All the rest have a definition, but that one just says be of good character.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, Representative Healy. Yes, that one is very vague, and we have had many conversations in regards to the vagueness of be of good character. One of the areas that we have really identified in being able to use that quality is that we want families who have good moral values, who support birth parents and the reunification process. And at times that can be difficult to put into very specific rule terms.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just to follow up on what Representative Healy was alluding to, is there some sort of standardization as far as foster care parenting nationally? Is there some sort of handbook, some sort of something, rather than a really vague description of what you may find to be morally righteous?
Ms. Sevicek.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Blanksma. Model licensing standards, as I mentioned, were implemented, but they are also not incredibly specific because a home study process, every individual family is so different, and how they are able to consider being foster parents and to be able to work through the issues that come along with being foster parents, supporting children, working with the department, supporting birth parents in the reunification process, or being able to transition a child to a permanent home can sometimes be more of a discussion rather than a specific requirement and ability to describe exactly what we're looking for.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman.
Follow up.
So based upon some knowledge I have of some conditions in my district, is there some sort of appeals process if the determination has been made that there is some sort of moral issue with a couple or a single person or what have you? What exactly, what gives one person the right to determine this? This is my question. I think this is what Representative Healy was getting at, in that we already have an amazing dearth of foster parents. And I don't know that I'd want one person coming into my home and telling me whether I was, you know, a morally upstanding individual or not, even though I have voters that tell me whether I am or not every 2 years. I volunteer for that, but I just question about if what we're looking is qualified foster care, as many people as we can get to provide quality care. Is there some sort of appeals process? Tell me what that looks like.
Sevicek.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, Representative Blanksma. So when a home study is completed, it is done in collaboration with the family. So that's done over several home visits or phone calls, follow-up questions to discuss any concerns that the social worker or family service worker may have related to that family. The home study is then reviewed by a supervisor. And in addition, when a worker has concerns about a family being able to be licensed to be foster parents, there are many conversations that occur between the worker and the supervisor to determine if this is a family that can move forward in the licensing process, or if we need to have some of those crucial conversations with them, specifically around what are our concerns, how can they learn more, gain additional skills in order to be exceptional foster parents that we're looking for. At that point, if the department determines that they cannot be licensed, there is an appeal process, and they can go through the Fair Hearing Rule Unit, and they can present why they believe that they should still be licensed as a foster parent, and the department would then provide information as to why they do not have the qualities that we're looking for.
Thank you. Follow up for Mr. Chairman again.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ms. Savick. Under these guidelines, can somebody determine that somebody who is pro-life not be eligible for foster care? Can somebody decide that that's not a good moral position and not be qualified for foster care? I mean, we've seen some of that in other states where if you're a strong Catholic, you can't qualify for foster care. So under these guidelines and these rules that we are adopted, is that possible in Idaho?
Ms. Sevicek.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman. It's a difficult question to answer, but I can tell you in my years of experience, we have families from all backgrounds, from all beliefs, from all areas of political beliefs as well as religious beliefs. So could it happen? It would be difficult for me to say absolutely not. I don't foresee that it would happen.
Follow up, Mr. Chairman? Thank you, Ms. Sevicek. Committee, just remember, we either approve the docket, we reject it, or we approve it with some exceptions. My recommendation would be that we just bring up these last two and review them again next year and just keep our eye on them until we're really comfortable with them. But the committee, it's at the will of the committee. Thank you. Any motions in order? Well, we can reject it, I suppose.
And just for discussion on the motion, I think we've pointed out that there's some very vague interpretations or descriptions on that. And I don't necessarily want to kill the rules, but I do think we need, just as when we passed legislation, we put definitions in. And I think some of this is pretty vague, and I'd like to see more definitions in the, either in the docket or in legislation that goes with it. So I don't see a reason yet to kill the rules, but I'm very hesitant on the rules. My initial reaction would be to go no, just because of the vagueness. But I'm not sure that can be solved in the meantime while we're here. And so I just have some reservations on it, and I'm still not sure where I'll go with this one, just because of the vagueness of the definitions.
Any further discussion, Representative Blanksma?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I, to some degree, echo the chairman's comments. I find it troubling that we would approve something and then just hope for the best, because my experience does not lead me to a good conclusion when we've done that in the past. And particularly with the Department of Health and Welfare, I have yet to have a condition where we've asked the department to do something and then felt like they've complied to the best of their ability. I've yet to see that. And I haven't been here as long as Chairman Vander Woude. No one has. But I have some serious concerns. Again, though, I'm troubled by what the remedy is, but I feel really uncomfortable, particularly since while the department may not be asking these questions now, it appears that there's nothing that will preclude them from asking these type of questions in the future. And I am concerned about the balance that you're putting on these folks that are going into homes, and the ability of some of these foster parents, a lot of whom I know are really good people and have been challenged by some of these home visitations, feeling really lost and attacked by the department. And so to go ahead and give you more authority through vague definitions, it troubles me.
Any further comments, Representative Vander Woude?
Mr. Chairman, for a substitute motion.
Substitute motions in order.
Mr. Chairman, I make a substitute motion that we hold House Rule 16-0602-2301 for further review until we get some maybe better definitions or explanations from the Department of Health and Welfare.
The speaker, if I may. I'm wondering, what is the fallout if we don't pass these rules? Is it going to cause logistical troubles within the foster care system, or what will happen if we just let this sit for the year and don't do anything?
Ms. Sevicek.
Mr. Chairman, Representative Rubel, the issue that will arise will be specific related to the Purpose Codex background check, which means that emergency provision for children to be able to be placed with a relative or a fictive kin is at risk, and the federal government could withdraw our ability to do that background check, meaning that some children who could be placed with a relative or fictive kin, someone they know and trust, would have to be placed with a non-relative foster parent until we could complete the full enhanced background check through the BCU.
Representative Blanksma.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, my understanding from what you said is we could still do that up until October. Is that correct? And so you would also have the ability under Representative Chairman Vanderwater's favorite deal of doing a temporary rule. So it doesn't sound like you're in any way incapacitated as far as using that system.
That
Ms.
is
Sevacek.
That is correct? Okay.
My apologies, Mr. Chairman, Representative Blanksma. Yes, if we were to do the temporary rule, that would mitigate that.